him I'll live in this poor rhyme, while he insults our dull and speechless tribes. And thou, in this shalt find thy monument, when tyrants' crests and tombs of brass are spent. That's by a poet from England named William Shakespeare. And then Lowell asked me at the time, what would you want to do with your life or something? This was after I'd been in the class, but he just asked me, big question. I said, I'd like to make just 6 poems that people would want to keep on reading. And I'm still there. I'm still there thinking that would be enough. That would justify my life, to make some good poems. That life. After a while, with eyes lifting slowly from the page, one sees genera and kingdoms, animal, vegetable, mineral. Also, I saw the hair on my arm, fur between kingdoms. Twilight answered from its back. I stood up in my room, yes, to learn more than I knew from the news given away by unfelt strokes of radar, to hear the voice of such standing with bent head under the stars. On my wall, the blue-green, cataracted eye, the planet poster hung from its pin. And so I ask again, here before Independence Hall, how much land, which land does a man need? Wherever green is worn, or blue and white, red, orange, yes, when the little O, this earth, wears the rainbow raggedly, each man, woman, child needs all. After a while, with eyes returning slowly to the page, yesterdays, todays, I say the names: Linder, Schwerner, Goodman, Cheney, Corey, Rusica. Yes, our land with all its names. With thirst and no rods but their yellow number 2s, dowsers are ranging toward the south, ranging toward the north, attack scarecrows, guard the farms. Absentees asleep among the cobwebs. One farm to which a dowser comes, magnetizing the grains that underlie the superhighways, the muddy approach roads of April, is open and alone. Across the valley barks adrift from a small dog. Above the hills that before us wearing clouds, grays of early evening cover the mosses that cover the brook's stones, and Houghton's thread begins to lose its glint. On the one hand, on the other hand, babble its waters on their arguments seaward. A most clear of days, each grain of dust was lowered by a raindrop the stormy night before. Almost is over. Past the warm pungency of the outhouse and past the shed's servelle, he climbs the hill. His best eye catches a ghost going, the part of himself that stayed behind as shepherd for the eggs in 12s, the juice gallons, the abundance of a young family setting out its habits. He stands in quiet near the cold cook stove, and later walks the land of old wells dangerously lost in second growth. Elsewhere, his brother and sister dowsers are up in America, and far, far south the freighters move patiently up and down between the oceans that bathe Panama. Houghton Brook adds its share. And to say this in the middle of New York City at Columbia University, in the park, Riverside Park. One world, huh? Our house is someone else's business. Avian typists eat the walls, messenger mice drop chits of protein on our dinner plates, and porcupines take out from the outhouse salty wood hors d'oeuvres. 40 feet up and moving fast, the worm hanging from a robin's beak looks back in longing at the orifice beneath our sill. Oi, houses mean business in the world of busy fellow creatures. Someone's name? It's Madame Wilderness. It's about this house, especially in winter. Within every kind of chaos, in every situation, there's something called the strange attractor. You know, it's a technical term for that. I'm always looking for the strange attractor in poetry. So I have this poem that mentions the strange attractor of my only life. That's the last line. The strange attractor of my only life, the strange attractor of a session of trying to write something in the morning where one fragment about something that happened 20 years ago or I read about, or even something in another poem by John Milton or whoever, seems to reverberate and connect in some way to something else. So that's the economy, looking for strange attractors in chaos. And only sometimes does it work. I hope 6 times in my life for whole poems, but we'll see. What sounds to be made before a painting? Riesdale and Hobbema, the road commissioners of Haarlem, with spat and brush for giant rake and shovel, show here ornately rectangled in wood, here in Upper Manhattan. More alien than hermit crabs in a forest? Yes, so lucidly so. Here, O museum goers, art and the world is one hand clapping. From Times Square.
What thought you have of me, I had as much of you. I laid in my stores in advance. I considered long and seriously of you before you were born. Who was to know what should come home to me? Who knows but I am enjoying this? Who knows for all the distance, but I am as good as looking at you now, for all you cannot see me.